Hello everyone, welcome to Land and Property TV. This week I'm having a chat with Lucy and Hayes Logan from Tusal Baharas. We're going to be talking today about NIEs. I won't try and pronounce it correctly in Spanish because I will get it wrong and I will have lots of complaints from the Spanish community. So I'll leave that for Lucy. Lucy works with Tusal Baharas in Lanhron. I'll let her explain a bit more about that in a moment. But for those of you who are thinking of moving to Spain and in particular looking to buy a property, this will be very useful for you. So Lucy, welcome.
Hi Matthew.
Thank you for coming along today and having a chat with us. We're talking today about NIEs, or please give me the correct pronunciation in Spanish.
Número de identificación extranjera.
Great, thank you. So the identification number basically for foreigners.
It is. It's used also for tax purposes. It will be on your residency if you're applying for residency over here. Great. You're going to need one of these to pretty much do anything legal out here in Spain.
Fantastic. Okay, so it's very important to
very
have.
Important, yes.
Now, I understand that actually getting one of these numbers is a fairly straightforward process, but it is coming up against the usual Spanish bureaucracy. And so if you're not fluent in Spanish, sometimes, got a fly attacking me there. Sometimes if you're not fluent in Spanish, then having someone like yourself to assist with the process can be beneficial. Could you give me an idea of the process and what's involved?
Well, there's multiple different ways of getting an NIE number out here in Spain. You can either apply here in Spain, you can apply by the Spanish consulate, for example, if you're in the UK, or you can apply through a representative out here.
Right.
So you don't necessarily have to be in the country to be able to apply for one. A lot of lawyers will be able to do this process for you.
Okay.
What it requires is just a standard form with your general information, and also a tax document has to be generated just to cover the fees of what it is to actually create the NIE.
Okay.
And for non-EU members, such as the UK now, require a photocopy of all pages of your passport. And if you're an EU applicant, we only need a picture of your photo ID.
Great. Okay. So that might be a TIE, which is something, is that right? That's suitable?
Normally a passport suffices, or any foreign identification card.
Great. That's but all of the paperwork is in Spanish, is that correct?
It is. Even when you apply through the consulate, it requires the documentation to be in Spanish.
Okay.
So, for example, at Tusal Baharas, what we do is we will issue the form in English for you to fill in, and you know what you're filling in, and then we will transfer it onto the Spanish document for you. That's all included with our.
Oh wow! So you actually have the forms all in English,
we do, yes.
So they could complete it all in English, and then you can transfer that correctly into the Spanish documents.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
And also for the consulate, you will need to provide a reason of why you're applying for an NIE. So most of our clients, for example, are moving out here to Spain, are looking to purchase a property, or some people are looking to do a rental contract for a long amount of time, purchase a car, anything that involves a taxation out here in Spain. They're going to need an NIE.
Okay.
So with that, it suffices enough to justify why they need this number.
That's great, because this has been quite interesting, dealing with a lot of people looking to purchase property, where there seems to be a bit of a catch-22 situation that you can't buy a property without an NIE, but the Spanish consulate won't issue you an NIE unless you have a purchase contract for a property.
Yes, I'm sure it's something that you've come across quite often with the property side of things. An NIE number is required for you to be able to sign the deeds.
Yes.
We do need that as a notary document to be presented on that day. But obviously, in some cases, they won't give you an NIE unless you have a memorandum of sale, for example. So in this case, that's normally where we have to try and find that middle ground. In fact, some estate agents will refuse to show people around without an NIE number. And this is kind of where that catch-22 comes in. Some people won't allow you to view properties until you have an NIE number, but in some cases, if you're issuing through a consulate, you might not get an NIE number without actually having a memorandum of sale.
Okay, so because that is a slightly complicated situation, is it normally best for someone to speak with yourself first?
Yes.
And see the right process to avoid being in that situation?
That's where that third option comes in, of where we can apply for an NIE out in Spain.
Fantastic.
For your NIE numbers here. The NIE numbers in Spain are a lot easier to issue as they don't have to be sent to Madrid. The consulates in the UK will send them to Madrid's main office and then will be issued there. Unlike in Spain, normally, the same appointment is the same day you'll walk out with an NIE, and the consulate takes a few days to get it back to you.
Okay, well that's great to know. And I understand, particularly for our UK buyers, that there are limited places where you can actually go to the consulate as well. You can't apply for it online, is that correct?
Unfortunately not. You have
Right.
to apply for an appointment and then hand in all the paperwork on your appointment day.
Right, okay. And I also think I'm right in saying, because we were chatting about this, that you can't take someone who can translate with you at the moment due to the COVID restrictions.
Sadly, at the moment, with the COVID restrictions, translators are very limited to be able to enter appointments with you.
Okay.
In fact, a lot of government buildings are only allowing the person who has the appointment in their name to enter the building.
Wow.
So that's where Tusal Bujarras kind of step in with our new service that we've kind of had to innovate due to COVID, which
Okay.
is translation over the phone.
Okay, so how does that work? Like if you've got someone who's trying to apply for their NIE, but they don't speak Spanish or they're not confident and they would like to have that support there, how does that work?
They simply need to get in contact with us at Tusal Bujarras.
Okay.
We can schedule when they have their appointment, so we're free and we've got the phones nearby to be able to answer for them straight away. And all they simply do is put us on hands-free and we'll translate the conversation between them and the agent in the office.
Wow, fantastic. What a great service. So, well, Lucy, thank you so much. It's been helpful to catch up on that. And we'll put your details, if you need to speak to Lucy, we'll put the details in the comments below so that you can find out how to contact her, or do visit her website at tusalpajaras.com. And Lucy, thank you very much for talking to us about NIEs today. Hopefully we'll be able to get Lucy back to speak about some more fun and complications with Spanish bureaucracy very soon. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Matthew.
Goodbye for now.